Hey everybody, I'm Mrs. Volts. You can call me Mrs. V or you can just call me Volts. I am gone today, which really stinks because this is one of the most important days in the actual art classroom because we have to go over a lot of rules, we have to go over a lot of regulations, things that you need to know. If you had me last year, you most likely know how I function, how we can have a lot of fun in class, but if things go wrong, we won't be having a lot of fun, which is where the rules come into play. So, we're going to go over a few things today. I will be talking about them next time we do have class. Just purely, I want to make sure that I know everybody understands what I expect of you in the classroom. So, first, we're going to be talking about what each grade is going to be learning this year. All right, so we will be learning about the elements of art in sixth grade. So if you had me last year, we talked about the elements of art. So my sixth graders this year will be learning about the elements of art. So line, shape, color, form, texture, value, and space. We'll go over all of them with each section, like color will be our first one. We will have a different project that goes along with it. Since the spring semester is a little bit longer, we'll probably get more done than the actual first semester classes. Now, for my seventh and eighth graders, this is a mixed class. All right, you probably noticed that when everybody came in. We will be getting a seating chart next time we have class. All right, so don't just walk in here expecting to sit wherever you want. That is something that is earned. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But with the principles of art, we'll be learning about rhythm, repetition, patterns, balance. How do you see balance in a piece of artwork? If you did not take my class last year, you might have a little trouble with remembering some things. Like some students don't know how to mix colors correctly, some students don't know where everything's at. Don't be afraid to look around for something. It's not that hard to find it. Most of the time, I have stuff sitting out. If you're having trouble, be sure to talk to other students in the class. So, with supplies, like I said, I will have everything sitting out for you that you need. Nothing will be put away. I'll never tell you to go into a certain closet and grab it there. I will always grab it for you because I don't want you guys to grab the wrong thing. All right. So, supplies stay in this room. We work with X-Acto knives, which are really sharp. We work with carving tools. We work with different types of clay. We work with paints and glazes. If you are caught with it outside of the room, even an eraser of mine, that is points taken away from your project. And that is also detention with me after school. And there's always something that needs to be cleaned in here. All right. Um, they should not be wasted. If I catch you painting your hand, misusing the materials, if I see you throwing clay, if I see you painting on somebody else's project, if I see you taking a lot more paint than you need, like maybe filling all of the little circles in a paint palette, that is points taken away. So really think about things before you use them because this stuff or these supplies are given to us from the community, all right, from taxpayer dollars who are your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, all right? So do not waste it because having art is a privilege. And if we have to keep ordering certain clay, maybe, or maybe you have to keep ordering certain paint, maybe you just won't be using it. So you should be taking care of the supplies as if you bought them with your own money. If you misuse the materials will lead to points taken off or detention, or maybe even both. All right. So an example, painting your hand. I would catch students doing that a lot last semester, and which is why I'm going to make this very clear. If I see you painting somebody else, painting their project, all right, the paintbrush is meant for the paper. All right. If I see you doing anything else with the paintbrush except painting with it, you will have detention. Points will be taken away. It's a very serious thing. All right. I had somebody disqualified from a project because they decided to throw clay last semester. If I see you throwing clay, automatic disqualification from the project, and you'll have to be writing a little nice paper about classroom materials and how to take care of them. Next, entering the classroom. So, like I said, if you had me last year, you kind of know the gist of everything. When you come in, be quiet and be respectful. If I'm not in there, you don't need to be screaming or yelling. Always place your books in the back of the classroom. So there's two backs. I always say there's the back with the green table and there's the actual back room. All right. Next to the green table in the back, there's a giant shelf. You always set your belongings on that shelf. And the reason for setting your belongings on that shelf is because if you or if your partner next to you had paint, maybe they accidentally spilt it and it gets all over your books. I'm not going to cover that. The person next to you is not going to cover that because you didn't put your books in the back. So you're going to have to cover the cost of that book then. Um, Another reason is it can be dangerous. People walk around with X-Acto knives in here, and if you have your books on the side of the table or on the floor, somebody trips over it, that can be dangerous and bloody, and I don't like blood. Always go to your assigned seat. All right. I don't want to see you wandering around the room. If you're getting things that you need, say you need scissors and tape for one of our projects, that's okay. But I don't want you on the other side of the room talking to so and so, trying to figure out what you're going to do this weekend, who you're hanging out with. You're in art class, and I really, frankly, don't care what you're going to do this weekend. You should be working on your projects because when you abuse your time in class, that's points taken away. You can earn sitting where you want with good behavior during class. Me not having to tell you to be quiet. Me not telling you to have to sit down. Last semester, I had two classes, both of which were sixth grade, but I had two classes that were able to sit where they want the whole semester. And it worked out perfectly. Students even decided to sit at tables by themselves because they had more room. That's smart thinking, and that's when students deserve to sit where they want. You earn that. Then I had students where I had to give them multiple seating charts because they couldn't handle where they sat anywhere in the room. So use your time wisely in class and you will earn privileges from it. So once the bell rings, I will always take roll call first. I will wait, however, until it's quiet to get started with anything. So I'll take roll call, say you're all being a little chitty chatty, I will just wait. All right. Then you realize that I'm ready to start and you should be ready to start too. You should go to your seat and be ready to go by the time the bell rings. The only thing you need in this classroom is a pencil. So, does that mean you need to go to your locker? Probably not. All right. Last semester, I had students who would show up 3 minutes late because they had to, quote unquote, go to their locker and get their stuff. No, you really don't need to go to your locker. You can basically just bring a pencil or bring whatever you have with you and then be here on time. No excuse. If you come to my room without a pass, it's still counted as a tardy. I need a pass. That teacher needs to call me. That teacher needs to email me. I need a pass. All right. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's no reason for you to be late to class. And I'm actually going to be very strict about that this semester. All right. So, beginning of class, I will announce what we're going to do for the day, followed by instructions. Um, that agenda for the day will also be written on the board. So, do not ask me what we're going to do today. One of my biggest pet peeves is when it's written on the board. You know, every day when we come into class, I'm going to tell you what's going to go on. So, right when you walk into class, like before everyone else, and you ask, Mrs. What's what we're going to do today? What are we going to do today? I'm going to tell you that we're going to do stuff, or that we're going to do things, or to read the board, right? You just wait until the bell rings, and I will tell you what we are going to do for the day. It's most likely going to be the same thing as what we did the day before. All right. So look around, try and figure out what we're going to do. Do not ask me what we're going to do for that day. If I am feeling a little funny that day about it, maybe I'll just tell you to come in after school and you'll find out what we're going to do the next time we have class. Maybe I'll have you clean something too while we're at it. All right, did I miss something? No. So during class, if you're going to leave the room, there's a board right on the side, right next to the door, and it says who's out of the art room. So you need to sign out on that. You are able to leave the room a maximum, okay, so no more than 10 times during the semester, unless you're called down to the office for whatever reason. Every time you leave the room for the bathroom or for a drink, it will be written down. Okay. So use your sign outs wisely. All right. If you don't and you run out, say you have no more than 10, you can maybe ask a friend for theirs. A friend can transfer you some. I'm going to allow that. But at the end of the semester, say this is purely an example. If you only left the classroom twice, then you have